Hi, welcome back to RISC-V instruction formats. We have covered two types of instructions so far. The R type uses the R format with the two source registers and destination register and is used for arithmetic and logic register-to-register instructions. The I type uses the I format that has one source register, one destination register, and the immediate value, and it is used for immediate arithmetic and logic instructions. So what do we need to support the loads? In RISC-V, there is only one type of a load that there is, or one, multiple load instructions, but of all one type. All of them are of one type, and that type specifies the base register and offset with respect to that base register, which is an immediate value, and that points to a memory location, and we get the datum from that memory location and place it in a destination register. So we need the instruction format that has room for one source register, a destination register, and an immediate. We've just covered that. That's our I type, or I format. So we don't need a new instruction format to support the loads. We can just use the I type. So here is how loads look like. They do get a new opcode because they're not really immediate arithmetic instructions. They are loads. We also have fully populated the space to encode instructions of the immediate type, so we definitely don't need a new opcode. Besides the opcode, we need to specify the destination register, the base register, the same offset as we have had before of 12 bits, and the func3 sets the type of load that we are going to do. Remember, we have different kinds of loads. We may be loading a word or a byte, and that byte load may be unsigned. We'll come back to that in a sec. But essentially, it does what it's supposed to do. So the 12-bit sign immediate is added to the value of the base register, and then it points to the memory address. The contents of that memory address is stored in a destination register. So it is the same instruction format, but the operation is very different than what we had in immediate arithmetic. Let's take a look at an example. Here is a RISC-V assembly instruction that is load word x14 8 with an offset, base pointer is x2 with an offset of 8. So the opcode here is going to be the opcode that corresponds to the load, which is in this case decimal 3 binary 1 1. That is different than the ones that we had for the immediates. We need to specify the base register here, which is 2, so we encode the value of 2, and the destination register, which is 14, that corresponds to the x14 that we had in the instruction. And then we add the immediate value, which is plus 8, and the instruction type is load word 010. From the green sheet is the load word. As we have seen, there are different types of loads that we should fit in this format. They are covering loading bytes, loading words, and loading half words. What are half words? Well, we know that the word is 32 bits. A byte is quarter of a word, it's 8 bits. So what is a half word? Well, it's 16 bits. Not that hard to guess. And then we have unsigned versions of load byte and load half word. We don't have an unsigned version of load word because we are taking 32 bits from a memory location and placing them in 32 bits of a register. There is nothing to be extended. Remember how the load bytes work? We take any byte from a memory location that is in memory and place it in the least significant position in our register, and then extend its most significant bit to perform the sign extension. Loading half words works exactly the same way. We place a half word into the lower part of the register and sign extend it. Load byte unsigned and load half word unsigned do not perform the sign extension. And finally, one thing to notice here, sign extension is an important thing to notice that we need to do, so it got its separate bit, designated bit, in the func3 field. That's all what we need to know about loads. That was relatively easy, so we are going to move on to the next instruction type in a bit. See you there.